What a story we've been hearing from Mokbelola Aduke Lamont, journeying from Fountain to Shagamu, then from Nigeria to Scotland, and the fact that, culture, for you, things, with the prices of goods, like you said earlier on, and in your class being a mechanical engineering student, only black female in that class, and you had to develop strategy. So share some of your experience, on life, even living in Aberdeen, Scotland, and how did you get into philanthropic work? How did you become a volunteer? What did you start doing? And yeah.
Yeah, so I guess way back then there were just very few black people in Scotland,
Okay.
and primarily in Aberdeen where I resided. So I did unfortunately get some overt and covert, racial remarks.
Right.
So I think that for me was a bit of an eye opener. And it made me realize that a lot of these folks just weren't exposed, they weren't well traveled, and so they probably just had never seen black people. So rather than see it
So
as
it
a
was
negative
due more of like an ignorant thing
ignorance.
rather than,
I mean, some of them were a bit malicious,
Okay.
but most
Right.
of them was born out of ignorance.
Okay.
Really. So I think it was necessary, really, to try to create awareness of some sort. And of course, as you were my sister, you had a huge role to play in that as well, because there was Meal, Multi-Ethnic Aberdeen Limited, of which I became, one very, very active, basically, with. So that gave me the platform, really, to just showcase our African culture in so many ways. I remember we went to so many schools and did so many things in there, and, fashion and artwork and music and dance, and music and dance usually brings people together. So I think that for me was one of the moments, really. If I rewind back to Nigeria as well, there's a great man I knew called Alhaji Sanusi, and a Muslim actually, and he taught me how to give. And at the time, he was the district governor for the Lions Club in Ikeja, for District B.
Which is like a non-governmental organization, but
Yes.
about helping to
Yes.
put back in the community.
Exactly. So it was all about helping less privileged people in various dimensions and areas of their lives. So I think that with the whole meal experience birthed something in me to just serve in any community I find myself in, whether it's at home, whether it's at work, whether it's with people I know or those I'm meeting for the first time, or generally just serving the universe. And I think that's what brings the fulfillment in everything I do.
Okay, so what did you least enjoy? Let me start with least enjoy as a volunteer, what you do, and what did you most enjoy?
What did I least
I'm
enjoy?
sure there must be something, or maybe there isn't any.
It's interesting, when you volunteer for something you really want to do, the whole point is you volunteer because you want to.
You want to do it.
Nobody's forcing you to. You could be doing other things, but you prioritize that above others.
Okay.
So, and if you're a person of excellence, of which I believe I am, if I volunteered to do it, then I'm putting my all into it. So, list things I enjoy would probably be maybe people not having the same energy.
Okay, that's you, because you are the
And perhaps
which could be frustrating because
it's very
you have so much energy.
I know.
Even me as a sister know that.
Yes. So that could be just a bit frustrating,
Right.
when people don't quite deliver to the expectation because they're volunteering. Yeah. So, but
And most enjoyed?
oh,
I'm sure the dancing. In the volunteering.
that's a big factor. That's a big factor. However, I think even more than that, it's just knowing that piecemeal, one person at a time, you're changing people's lives, by opening their eyes to see the bigger picture, to understand that there's a bigger world out there, to understand the purity and beauty, of diversity. I think for me, that's probably what I truly got out of it and enjoyed. When you see people who perhaps were in the dark because they had no knowledge, and then they come into the light and they embrace,
Yep.
the diversity of culture and everything else. That makes them a better person. And then wherever they go, they then carry that light and then almost light another candle. And before you know it, exactly, the bigger world is hopefully a better place.
Yeah. So what are you most proud of, as an achievement, for you?
Oh, wow. There's so many.
I'm sure. Well, just give us one.
Okay.
I am sure there's, or maybe a few if you want to share.
Okay. Yeah, sure. So I can share one, definitely. So I remember a few years ago, I was working with Marathon at the time, Marathon Oil Company, an amazing company, and
that was in Aberdeen.
In Aberdeen.
Okay.
And there was an initiative with Lions Club in Nigeria.
Okay.
To build an eye clinic, an eye center, which was to provide free eye treatments really for less privileged people who had various diseases, cataracts, glaucoma, so they don't go blind.
Right.
And I remember very well, it started over a cup of coffee with a few colleagues, and I just mentioned it to them and said, I'm thinking of doing this and I'd love their support. And they jumped on the bandwagon.
Okay.
And we came up with ideas. It was super creative because first we wanted to get people talking about the event. So
right.
What we did was we had the paw prints, of like animals, the 5 big animals, and we had them all over. So we had them in the bathroom, on the floor, everywhere. So people started asking questions. What is this? What is this about? And then I put the posters out in terms of the event I was trying to do to raise funds. And they blew my mind away. So I was able to raise significant amount of money.
For an eye clinic in Lagos. Was that specifically in Lagos in Nigeria?
Okay. In Nigeria. Yes.
Okay.
So, and it was a big chunk of money that helped to basically build the eye clinic.
Wow.
And I remember going to the eye clinic once the building was completed, and I was actually quite teary, because there were real people with real problems, eye problems, getting free treatments and getting their sight back. Money can't buy that.
No, money can't.
So yeah, I'm grateful to God for the opportunity.
Wow. Kudos to you. Well done.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. We need to stop and we'll be right back.